Previously on Indy Christian Review.
What's happening?
Putting you somewhere safe. I got a message last week, and I don't know what it means, but I think it's Latin. Vale Relator means farewell storyteller. You know how last year we beat Genocron and we trapped him in that little prison?
Did you lose it?
You don't know?
No, you were the only one who knew where you put it. You said it was safer that way.
No one's noticed the different hat, but I'm running out of time.
It's going to be another week on your side before our universe's timelines realign. I'm keeping the storyteller as busy as I can, but he is very ready to get home.
This week we're looking at an end times movie. Revelation Road 2. I am so done with this show. Good, can I have it back now? Storyteller. So, how'd you like your stay in my universe? It's about the same as yours, just a few minor differences. Let's see, yours wasn't conquered by Genocron for 5 years, and your family is still alive, but other than that, nearly identical. You'll be happy to know that I kept your show going while you were gone. Let's see, I reviewed My Son, No Lost Cause, Camp, Taken by Grace, For Love's Sake. I was just about to review Revelation Road 2, but you can have that one. Look, just tell me where you put Genocron's prison and I'll go back to my universe. You'll never see me again. Review the movie with me. What? Sit down and let's review Revelation Road 2. Is this really going to take two of us to review? Let's start with the recap. Actually, the movie does a pretty good job of recapping itself. The movie opens just like the first one did, with the dramatic narration over stock footage talking about how horrible the end of the world is. Only this time we have a Galadriel wannabe as narrator. After that, Sheriff Eric Roberts comes home to his wife, daughter, and his randomly visiting sister, where he recaps the events of the first movie. I find this whole scene to be very fascinating. It's got so many different positives and negatives, it almost cancels itself out. For the positives, it's a great recap. It condenses all the good parts of the first movie down in a very natural setting and flow. Yeah, it's very obviously there just for recap, but it doesn't feel awkward or forced. What is awkward are all the other characters in the scene. You've got the sheriff's wife, who is maybe trying to kick her smoking habit, but lights up anyway, using the burner on the stove. The sheriff's daughter, who's pretty much just a cameo for the girl from the encounter. And then the sheriff's sister. She's a Christian. We know this because she insists on them saying grace before dinner, and the fact that she wears a cross necklace. Because you see, according to this movie, every Christian is required to wear a cross necklace, and anyone who does wear a cross necklace is obviously a Christian. After the sheriff finishes the recap, the rapture happens like in the first movie, only it's over a lot faster this time. Someone in the comments for the first review actually suggested that the reason the rapture sequence took so long was because the dead were being raised first. That's a fine theory, but it would have been nice if the movie had actually indicated that, if that was indeed the case. The speed of the rapture scene here makes me think that the reason it took so long last time was because they were using every single reaction shot of every single character to pad out the runtime. Now back to this movie. After that scene, we never see the sheriff's family again. What is that? Oh, that's a counter gag. A lot of internet reviewers use it. Usually only shows up in longer reviews, though. Huh. Back in the present, we catch up with Josh, who's still stranded at the motel because the owner refuses to let anyone leave until they can pay their bills. As he's sleeping, Josh has dreams about being experimented on by mysterious people. Seriously, another counter? Yeah, the movie should have been called Revelation Road 2, The Sea of Backstories and Flashbacks. Meanwhile, the surviving barbarians are still looking for Josh and the raptured store owner from the last movie. And since they're still not named on screen in this movie, I'm going to ignore what they're called in the credits and call them Growly, Sting, Muscles, Hair, and the guy from Moment After. Sting asks Growly what they're going to do, which leads to some backstory. We learn that Growly was married and that Kat is indeed his daughter, but never mind that, back to the present. Back at the motel, Josh and the other trapped residents try to leave, but the owner still refuses to let them go, until the barbarians show up. A shell-shocked lady whose husband was raptured jumps into the car with Josh, and they set off with the barbarians in hot pursuit. One thing you definitely can't fault this movie for is its action scenes. They are all very well done, well paced, well shot, lots of great suspense and action, but it's not overly violent or gratuitous. I really do like the action scenes in this movie. Josh gets saved by a police roadblock and then heads into town. The lady finally starts to talk, though she's still dazed from losing her husband.
I touched the light. It burned.
It burns us!
The barbarians make plans to ambush Josh when he leaves town, but Sting finally speaks up, saying that they should give up and go back to their own territory. Judging from the glances between Sting and Kat, there's some kind of a relationship there. Not that we get any insight into it with the next flashback, this time to the founding of the barbarians. We see Muscles get initiated, and then Kat brings her boyfriend in to join as well. Growly has doubts about him, but Kat vouches for him and he's let in, much to Sting's disapproval. Back in the present, Growly takes Sting's protest as a challenge to his authority. Reluctantly, Sting accepts the challenge and the fight ensues. It's a pretty even match, but Growly eventually gets the upper hand. He declares the fight to be over, but Sting's not ready to quit.
What you say? That you only meant well, 'cause you did. What you say? That it's all for the best.
Josh arrives at the sheriff's office and finds that Beth is there waiting for him. He compares notes with the sheriff about the disappearances, and Beth insists that it was the rapture.
There's no way. I'm a Christian. I'm still here. I was with the pastor about an hour ago. That doesn't make any sense.
Bill said you have to accept him in your heart. And you have to repent of all your sins and ask Jesus for forgiveness before it's too late.
And that's the last we ever see of her. Oh, she's not a pointless character. She was there to deliver the obligatory gospel message. There are plenty of other major characters who do that later on. In the grand scheme of the story, there was really no reason for this character to tag along with Josh. By having her go along with him, that kind of communicates that she's supposed to have some kind of impact either on the character's arc or in the story as a whole. This is neither. She's just here, spouts a little bit of the gospel, and then is never seen again with the rest of the movie. Anyway, Josh says he's going to go home and find his family, and the sheriff gives him his pistol. Beth cons her way into going with Josh, and the pair set off on the road. Josh makes Beth wear one of the bulletproof vests he was selling in the first movie, though Beth says it won't save her life. The barbarians set off in pursuit, and Kat hears the voice of Jesus calling to her, which prompts her to remember her mother unsuccessfully sharing the gospel with her. Meanwhile, Josh and Beth narrowly survive an encounter with looters.
What's wrong with these people? Been 12 hours since the power went out?
They can all feel it. It's the end. Can't you feel it too? It's like all the beauty and love in the world is gone.
No, that's just because you're filming in the Antelope Valley. Dude! Hey, we grew up there, I can say that. Fine, sorry. Anyway, Josh has another flashback about being experimented on and killing people. As they keep driving, they hear a radio broadcast of a pastor preaching about the end times that was recorded before the rapture, but Josh turns it off, refusing to believe that that's what's going on. They try to stop and get gas, but the place was hijacked by the psycho carjackers from the first movie. With some quick thinking, Beth and Josh get the upper hand and free the gas station owner and other hostages. As they continue their journey, Josh finally reveals to Beth that he was experimented on as a prototype for a special ops unit. Basically, he was turned into a cross between Captain America and the clone troopers from Star Wars Attack of the Clones, a super soldier that is physically unable to feel fear. Look, can we speed this up a bit? I don't have much time left before I have to get back to my universe, and I've still got some unfinished business here. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah. Gospel scene, bikers on the trail, another flashback into Growly's backstory showing how he's changed over the years. Crazy carjacker guides the bikers into a shortcut to get ahead of Josh. Then more backstory to show why Growly hates Kat so much. Her boyfriend was working for a rival gang and killed Growly's wife when she overheard him leaking information. Enraged, Growly then forges his hammer of vengeance and becomes the evil wannabe warlord he is today. The barbarians set their trap and the final showdown commences. Like he said earlier, this, like all the other action scenes, are really good. Tense, energetic, suspenseful. Okay, until that at least. Big mighty hammer of vengeance goes. Alright, that's enough. It does have a very good ending. It's very satisfying, wraps things up nicely, but still has a sense that the story could still go on.
Actually, David A.L. White posted on his Facebook page last week that they're going to be filming Revelation Road 3 by the end of the year.
You're on your own for that one. Anyway, bottom line, is Revelation Road 2 worth watching? Well, if you've seen the first one, then definitely yes. If for some reason you're watching the second one before the first one, yeah, they give enough a recap where you can pretty much figure out what's going on, but you should still watch the first one first before coming to this one. One thing the second movie has over the first is the pacing. This one felt a lot faster than the first one, even though they're about the same runtime. A lot more action, much better dialogue, and I never felt this one drag like the first one did. In fact, it almost felt like this needed to be watched back to back with the first one, and this was just Act 2.5 and 3 of the story. Now, these are by no means perfect movies. The characters needed way more development, and even though half of the movie is flashbacks, there's still a lot of unanswered questions about the character's past. For example, why on earth would the military let a super soldier prototype out of their sight for an instant? And what about Growly? I mean, why does he have this philosophy that he does about titans and warriors and stuff? Again, like I said with the first movie, the story's kind of a diamond in the rough. It just needed some more polishing to become a really, really good movie. As they are, yeah, they're worth watching. I enjoyed them. Don't get me wrong, I still think the end time genre is overdone, but the Revelation Road movies aren't bad. I still think Moment After 2 is the best end times movie, though. And there's one more fun tidbit to throw out there. Brian Bosworth, who plays the boss, actually came to the Lord because of the filming of this movie. So it's not like you can say that this movie should never have been made. Well, it's been fun, but we need to get you back to your universe. Not yet. I still have unfinished business here. I'm not telling you where Genocron's prison is. I did not come all this way for nothing. I am going to do what you should have done when you beat Genocron. You've seen my world. You saw what he did. Why are you defending him? I'm not going to let you kill him. He killed everyone else! I know, and I'm sorry, but there's more going on here than you realize. What? You mean this? Genocron's life story? How he came to conquer my universe, including Earth, was then banished to the void between realities? Yeah, I've read it. What's going on, Storyteller? Genocron was a character in a roleplay forum I used to write on years ago. I don't know if it became real or if it already was real, but it became more than just a story. But it wasn't just Genocron. Have you noticed how everyone around here looks alike? Uncle Bob, Mr. Researcher, even the Doctor. I'm a storyteller. I write, I act, I've made movies, YouTube skits. But the characters have been coming to life. I've been keeping track of it all in my book, just so I can sort what's going on. I don't know how or why this is happening, but until I do, Genocron stays in my protection. I then? Am I just one of your characters? No, I don't know what you are. A side effect? I never wrote about you. It never occurred to me that there would be a parallel universe version of myself in the Alterverse. That's what I'm talking about. There is more going on here than just characters coming to life. Somewhere out there in the multiverse, their entire worlds exist. And that scares me to death because I don't know what else could be coming for me. So, please, just go home. Let it go. Go build a new life for yourself. I promise you, Genocron is never going to hurt anyone else ever again. Probably couldn't have brought myself to do it anyway. I'll hold you to your word, storyteller.